Chapter 5, mid-chapter quiz, 1 to 19 only. 1 to 4, solve and graph on the number line. X minus 8 is greater than 4. Add 8 to both sides. X is greater than 12. Now to graph it, let's draw a horizontal line like I did here. The only number you need are whatever the solution. So here's the solution, 12. And X is greater than 12 is the solution. So I put an open circle at 12 because 12 is not actually part of the solution. X goes up to 12, 12.01, 12.001, 12.00001, etc., but it never reaches 12. And then it goes infinitely to the right. Okay, so here, let me use a red line here. So here's the graph going to the right, and an open circle with 12. Okay, 2, m plus 2 is greater or equal to 6. Subtract 2 from both sides. M is greater or equal to 4. Use a solid dot because of greater than or equal to, and then have the arrow going infinitely to the right. P minus 4 is less than negative 7. Add 4 to both sides. P is less than negative 3. And so there's the arrow going to the left with an open circle at negative 3 because it's less than negative 3. 4, 12 is less than or equal to t minus 9. Add 9 to both sides. T is greater than or equal to 21. Put 21 on the graph. Solid dot, arrow to the right. 5a, concerts and allowance. A, the money spent plus the concert cost must be less than or equal to the allowance, unless you got a credit card or something. Okay, so the money spent is the unknown. So x plus 45 is less than or equal to 60. So x is less than or equal to 15. In other words, you got $15 to spend in addition to the cost of getting into the concert. Okay, you spend $9.99 on downloads and $2 on lunch. So you add up all your expenditures to X, the unknown, which is the amount of money you have left to spend after spending $9.99, $2, and $45, all of which must be less than or equal to 60, and you have $3.01 left to save. Okay, 6 to 8, modeling and solve. Okay, the sum of a number and negative 2, so x minus, you could do x plus negative 2 or x minus 2, either one's okay, is no more than less than or equal to, is no more than, okay, is expressed in math symbols, less than or equal to. So x minus 2 is less than or equal to 6, add 2 to both sides, x is less than or equal to, or no more than 8. Okay, 7, a number decreased by 4. So decreased by 4 means you're going to have a minus and then a 4 from something. So that's x minus 4. A number decreased by 4 is more than, greater than, is more than, not greater than or equal to, but greater than negative 1. Add 4 to both sides. X is greater than 3. 8. Twice a number increased by 3 is less than, okay, so twice the number increased by 3 is less than the number decreased by 4. Twice the number increased by 3 is less than the number, the same x, the same unknown, minus 4. Subtract x from both sides. You get x plus 3 is less than negative 4. Subtract 3 from both sides. If you do this all in one step, I don't care. X is less than negative 7. 9. A multiple choice. Jane is saving money to buy a new cell phone that costs no more than $90. No more than. No more than. Again, less than or equal to. What would be greater than or equal to? at least. Okay, but no more than. So far she has saved $52. How much more money does she have to save? X is the amount of money she has to save. In other words, we don't know what it is. Plus the 52 she saved doesn't have to be any greater than $90 because that's how much she wants to. That's how much her cell phone costs. So how much more money does she have to save? Subtract 52 from both sides. X, the unknown amount, the amount that she has yet to save, is less than or equal to $38. Okay. Solve and check. Okay, now here's the whole thing about checking. Okay, so we're only gonna do it for, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 problems. Obviously, when you're doing this in a test, you're going to be doing this mentally, but you need to be aware of the fact that just having the right solution doesn't mean that your sentence is correct, the inequality sentence. All right, 1/3 y is greater than or equal to 5. Multiply both sides by 3. Y is greater than or equal to 15. Okay, so there's the answer right there. Now, the first thing you do is you plug your answer into the original equation, 1/3 times 15 with an equal sign. And this helps you to just check that you have the right number in your solution, okay? And that checks. All right, 1/3 times 15 equals 5. Now you're going to check the arrow. Now to do this, think about what your solution set is. Y is greater than or equal to 15. Now you can't test it with 15. If you put in 15, that's just going to be doing what you did before. You don't know if the arrows, that's not going to tell you where the arrow's pointing in the right direction or not, because that's the turning point for the demarcation line. 15 is the demarcation point for the solution. Here, let's draw a quick picture of the solution. Okay, so here's 15, and y is greater than or equal to 15, so it's going that way like that. Okay, all right. So you got to pick some other number besides 15 in order to check the arrow. Now I'm going to pick a number that's divisible by 3. Okay, so I don't have to deal with fractions. So I plug in 18 because 18 is greater than 15. So therefore, it's in the solution set of numbers for this inequality sentence. So 1/3 times 18 is 6. 6 is greater than or equal to 5. Is that true? Yes. Okay, so the arrow is going in the right direction. Number 11, we're going to just do the same thing over and over again for these 8 problems. Okay, 4 is less than c over 5. Okay, I multiply both sides by 5, and I get c is greater than 20. Okay, so I'm going to plug 20 into the original equation, and into the original sentence, but I'm going to substitute an equal sign for the inequality conjunction. So I get 4 equals 20 over 5, which is 4, so that checks. So I got the right solution number. Now we got to check the arrow. C is greater than 20. Now we're dividing by 5, so I'm going to pick 25. So 25 is obviously greater than 20. So is 4 less than 25 over 5? Well, it is. 4 is less than 5, so I know the arrow is okay. 18, negative 8x is greater than 24. Divide both sides by negative 8. And I get x is less than negative 3. Divide by negative or multiply by negative on both sides. Reverse the arrow. So I got x is less than negative 3. Check the solution. So I'm going to plug negative 3 into the original equation, which is, here's the original equation right here. Okay. So negative 8 times negative 3, and I into the original, I keep saying equation, I'm sorry about that, it's the original inequality sentence. So I plug negative 3 into an equation with the original term. So I get negative 8 times negative 3 equals 24, and that's correct. So I know that negative 3 is the right solution number. Now, x is less than negative 3. So negative 4 is less than negative 3. So that's in the solution set for x. Again, let me draw a picture of the graph. So here's negative 3, open, circle, and then arrow going this way. So negative 4 is to the left of negative 3. So that's in the solution set for x. So negative 8 times negative 4 is 32. Is 32 greater than 24? It most certainly is. Okay. So I plugged that negative 4 into the original equation, negative 8, into the original inequality sentence. Negative 8 times negative 4 should be greater than 24. 32 is greater than 24, so we're okay. 13. 2m is less than or equal to negative 10. Divide both sides by 2. M is less than or equal to negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to check my solution. So 2 times negative 5 should equal negative 10. Negative 10 equals negative 10. It does. Okay, now I'm going to check the arrow using the original inequality sentence, plugging in a number that's in the solution area. Okay, so m is less than or equal to negative 5. So I'm going to use, actually anything would be all right, negative 6, negative 7. I don't know why I used 10. I just wanted to use negative 10. 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. Negative 20 is less than negative 10, less than or equal to negative 10. So it checks. Now notice I could have used any number less than or equal to negative 5. I could have used 5.1, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. I just happened to pick negative 10. Just make sure you pick a number that's in the solution area. Okay. X over 2 is less than 5 over 8. I multiply both sides. What did I do here? I multiply both sides by 2. Okay, right, to get rid of the denominator. So x is less than 5/4. So the first thing I do is I'm going to plug 5/4 into the original inequality sentence, but turn it into an equation. So does 5 over 4 divided by 2 equals 5 over 8? It most certainly does. 5 over 2 divided by 2 equals 5 over 2 times 1/2, which equals 5/8. Okay, so the solution checks. Now, here's the answer. X is less than 5/4. Now, when 0 is not your solution number, but is in the solution set, use it. So I'm going to plug 0 into the original inequality. So 0 over 2, is 0 over 2 less than 5/8? Well, 0 over 2 is 0. So 0 is definitely less than 5/8. 15. Negative 9a greater than or equal to negative 45. Divide both sides by negative 9. Reverse the arrow when dividing by or multiplying both sides by a negative number in an inequality. A is less than or equal to 5. Check the solution. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll be down in a minute. Okay, negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. Negative 45 equals negative 45. And that checks. Okay, now, again, A is less than or equal to 5. So 0 is in the solution set. So negative 9 times 0 is 0. Is 0 greater than negative 45? It most certainly is. 16. W over 6 is greater than negative 3. 6 is cancel. W is greater than negative 18. So this is the answer right here. Okay. Plug it into the original inequality sentence and substitute an equal sign for the inequality conjunction. Negative 18 over 6 equals negative 3. Negative 3 equals negative 3. So the solution is good. Now I'm going to take a number in the solution area, which again, W is greater than negative 18. So 0 is in the solution set. So 0 divided by 6, is that greater than negative 3? Is 0 greater than negative 3? It is. So it checks. Okay, 17. K over 7 is less than negative 2. Multiply both sides by 7. And you get K is less than negative 14. Once again, substitute an equal sign for the inequality conjunction and plug in the solution. And both sides should be equal. Negative 14 over 7 equals negative 2. Negative 2 equals negative 2. Now we'll check the area, the arrow. K is less than negative 14. And we're dividing by 7 in the original inequality sentence. So I'm going to use negative 21. Negative 21 is less than negative 14, and it's going to come out even. So negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3. Is negative 3 less than negative 2? It most certainly is. Okay, so the arrow checks out. Okay, 18. Here, let's look at 18. They want us to make some inequalities. The world's heaviest flying bird is the great bustard. A male bustard can be up to 4 feet long and weigh up to 40 pounds. Write inequalities to divide the ranges of lengths and weights of male bustards. Okay, so the length must be less than or equal to 4 and obviously greater than 0. Okay, W is less than or equal to 40. Okay, but greater than 0. Weights and lengths must be greater than 0 or the animal does not exist. B, male's weight. All right, now we're going to do something slightly different here. We're going to distinguish between males and females. Males are about 4 times as heavy as females. So now we're going to say that the female's weight is W. So, and we're going to use the same numbers. So, and the male's weight is 4W. So 4W is less than or equal to 40 because that's the male's weight. It's the same thing as before, only we're using W differently. We could use a different variable. Anyway, divide both sides by 4. Okay, divide all 3 terms by 4. 0 divided by 4, 4W divided by 4, and 40 divided by 4. And so we get the W, which is the female's weight, is greater than 0 and less than or equal to 10. 19. Bill is building a fence around a square garden to keep the deer out. He has 60 feet of fencing. Find the maximum length of the side of the garden. Okay, S is the side of the garden. 4S is the perimeter. 4S is less than or equal to 60. S is less than or equal to 14. At most, 15 feet on each side if he wants to have a square garden. And that is that.